Hello and welcome. You're watching the Weekend Debate with me, Shravan Sen. Undoubtedly, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a week that perhaps no one will ever forget. Keeping in mind the Chandrayaan-3 successful launch. This decade, ladies and gentlemen, as far as Indian space is concerned, many would say it's a stellar decade. The country has almost earned over 3,000 crores with over 300 launches that have taken place. But despite that, there's been politics being played over this entire matter. Now it's all about naming, whether it should have been Jawahar Point or Shivshakti Point. That's the debate that we're going to have tonight. What exactly is the problem with the naming that has now been done by the Prime Minister? The politics played over moon mission, that's our weekend debate. The headlines we're tracking at this hour.
सैल्यूट आपके परिश्रम को, सैल्यूट आपके जज्बे को, आप सबको सैल्यूट करना चाहता हूं।
Prime Minister salutes the spirit of our ISRO scientists as he lauds them for successful moon mission.
जिस स्थान पर चंद्रयान-3 का मून लैंडर उतरा है, अब उस पॉइंट को शिव शक्ति के नाम से जाना जाएगा।
Chandrayaan-3 landing site to be called Shivshakti, Chandrayaan-2 site named Tiranga.
हमारे साइंटिस्ट का नाम तक उन पर मौजूद नहीं है। ऐसा लगता है कि इसरो प्रधानमंत्री चला रहे हैं, वो चंद्रयान प्रधानमंत्री लेकर गए हैं।
Congress questions move to name lunar points where India left its imprint. BJP calls it dynasty mindset. ISRO releases new video of rover Pragyan in pursuit of lunar South Pole. Secrets at Shivshakti Point. 4 days after the horrific crash in Loo that led to the death of two, police yet to record statements of those in Rolls-Royce. New Delhi gears up to host world leaders on 9th of September for the big G20 summit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's India's stellar decade in this space, and there is a reason why we are calling it the stellar decade in terms of the launches that have taken place. We'll put out the numbers in a short while for you to actually make your own judgment. What we essentially witnessed over the last few days with the successful launch of Chandrayaan-3 are two aspects. One, a certain section within the Western world who appear to be extremely jealous of the feat that has been achieved by ISRO. Some within the British media are calling it a result of the aid that has been provided by United Kingdom. Here in India, there is another politics that is being played, only because the Prime Minister has essentially named the very place where the successful launch has actually taken place as Shivshakti Point. Now, as per the tradition that it has been, it's a convergence of welfare and strength. The Prime Minister had said that the place where Chandrayaan-2 lander landed on the moon surface in 2019 would also be known as Tiranga Point. Now, while the entire nation is essentially rejoicing, the Congress doesn't seem to be very happy with the naming. On the very day when the successful launch took place, you had Sonia Gandhi sending out a letter to the ISRO chairman. Rather than really congratulating the ISRO when it comes to the successful launch, what really happened was Sonia Gandhi invoked the contribution that was actually made by Jawaharlal Nehru. Now we'll look into the contribution that has been made by each of these government, but the fact of the matter is that today perhaps is the time that we celebrate the success of ISRO and also perhaps salute the sacrifice made by several of our scientists. Take a look at this report and then we begin the weekend debate.
भारत में आते ही जल्द से जल्द आपके दर्शन करना चाहता था।
Prime Minister Modi choked with emotion as he met ISRO's scientists and saluted their spirit, which led to India landing on the moon.
आप सबको सैल्यूट करना चाहता था। सैल्यूट आपके परिश्रम को, सैल्यूट आपके धैर्य को, सैल्यूट आपके जज्बे को।
During his interaction, Prime Minister Modi made a big statement.
चंद्रमा के जिस स्थान पर चंद्रयान-2 ने अपने पदचिन्ह छोड़े हैं, वो पॉइंट अब तिरंगा कहलाएगा। ये तिरंगा पॉइंट भारत के हर प्रयास की प्रेरणा बनेगा। जिस स्थान पर चंद्रयान-3 का मून लैंडर उतरा है, अब उस पॉइंट को शिव शक्ति के नाम से जाना जाएगा। शिव में मानवता के कल्याण का संकल्प समाहित है और शक्ति से हमें उन संकल्पों को पूरा करने का सामर्थ्य मिलता है। 23 अगस्त को जब भारत ने चंद्रमा पर तिरंगा फहराया, उस दिन को अब हिंदुस्तान नेशनल स्पेस डे के रूप में मनाया जाएगा।
Our proud ISRO heroes have welcomed the naming of the points.
Our Honorable Prime Minister has come to our control center today to congratulate each one of us, and we were excited to hear his wonderful speech and words of congratulation to us. And he was actually emotional about this historic event of India being the very first nation to have our Tiranga on moon. And all of us very happy to know the naming of those two sites. The Chandrayaan-2 landing site, which is now going to be called Tiranga, and Chandrayaan-3 landing site, which is now going to be known as the Shivshakti point.
But some political parties don't seem very happy.
बीजेपी और बीजेपी के नेताओं की आदत बन गई है कि वो कभी सड़कों के नाम बदलते हैं, कभी शहरों के नाम बदलते हैं, और अब वो चांद तक पहुंच गए। क्या चांद की उस धरती के मालिक हैं प्रधानमंत्री, जिसका वो नाम रख रहे हैं? प्रधानमंत्री सिर्फ राजनीति कर रहे हैं, इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं।
Touchdown point of Chandrayaan-1 was named Jawahar Point in 2008. Then why is the Congress questioning the naming of Shivshakti and Tiranga? BJP thinks a dynastic mindset is the reason for it.
देखिए, कईयों के लिए परिवार फर्स्ट, बाकियों के लिए राष्ट्र प्रथम। यही अंतर हमने पहले दिन कहा। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए नेशन फर्स्ट, राष्ट्र प्रथम। दूसरी ओर कांग्रेस है, वो उनमें ये होड़ लगी होती है कि नेहरू जी का नाम रखें, इंदिरा जी का रखें, राजीव जी का रखें, सोनिया जी का रखें। अब तो पता नहीं आगे किस किस का रखने की सोचेंगे, लेकिन अब मौका नहीं मिलेगा इनको।
Should politics over naming of points cloud the achievements of our scientists? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, how justified is this controversy. The controversy over naming the very point that every Indian perhaps would be extremely proud of. That's the weekend debate. Joining us on the weekend debate tonight are Dr. Syed Zafar Islam. He's the spokesperson of the BJP. Here in the studio is Srijan Pal Singh, senior scientist, and he's also the founder of Kalam Center and CEO of Homi Lab. Savio Rodriguez, who's the chief editor of Goa Chronicle, joining us on this broadcast. From the Congress Party, we have Lokesh Jindal, Shyam Prasad Mekka, and from the Aam Aadmi Party, we have Siddharth Sharma. Gentlemen, I'll just request you all to stay on with us. I have a very interesting guest who's joined us on this broadcast. In fact, I spoke to him a short while back. He happens to be the mission director of Chandrayaan-3. And it's always best, perhaps, Srijan Pal Singh, to listen to what our scientists have to say. They'll stay clear of the politics. For them, that really does not matter. So I believe the nation actually deserves to witness the glory that has been provided to us by our scientists. In fact, I had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Mohan Kumar a short while back. Listen in to what he had to say. Joining us today on the weekend debate is one of the leading minds who made the mission Chandrayaan-3 a reality. He's the mission director of Chandrayaan-3 and also the man who worked upon the LVM-3M4 vehicle. Mr. Mohan Kumar, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Let me quickly recount for all our viewers that very moment when Chandrayaan-3 made soft landing. We saw you there. You appeared to be quite emotional. Why don't you take our viewers through those last few minutes inside its track?
Actually, this was an real scientific. Not only the scientific community, for the entire nation, the citizens of nation. This success, the LVM-3 M4 Chandrayaan-3 mission, is a success-flowing experience because it is the penance of so many people. Penance of so many people in the sense they worked hard. They did all their efforts to accomplish this task in minimum time possible. That is the satisfying moment in this endeavor.
Mr. Mohan Kumar, as far as the Pragyan rover is concerned, a short while back, ISRO said that there are 3 major objectives. Why don't you help our viewers understand in terms of what is it that is going to, the rover aims to achieve, and if those scientific objectives are met with, what does this mean for the entire scientific community and the world altogether?
Actually, this establishment is entirely, it is for the entire humanity. We are having certain props, the equipments on board Chandrayaan lander as well as on the rover, which will do the data analysis of the lunar regolith, its temperature profiles of the lunar surface, as well as electron density of lunar surface. These data will be in detail analyzed later, and we will come out with proper results, which will be useful for the entire humanity. That is the purpose of the packages or payloads available in the lunar, the lander, as well as on the rover part of the spacecraft.
We've also seen the collaboration that a lot of foreign countries have sought over a period of time. With the successful soft landing, what do you essentially see in the days to come in terms of international collaboration? How does that really work for ISRO?
Yeah, actually, it is, now we have demonstrated our capability to establish a capability to demonstrate that we are capable of landing on the lunar surface safely and softly. So definitely, we will also get collaborative efforts, requests also from various international agencies for their supports or collaboration for the betterment of the humanity. So that definitely this success will encourage collaborative efforts in future.
Mr. Mohan Kumar, allow me to take this question to you because I believe that today youngsters, this generation would certainly be inspired by this spectacular feat that has been achieved by ISRO. But we should also remember the time when there was this entire clamor talk that used to go around when people used to say that, okay, I'll go abroad, settle abroad, study abroad, get the best of engineering degrees, and thereafter joined NASA and not ISRO. That seems to have been now changing completely. Do you believe, on a lighter note, Mr. Mohan Kumar, the struggles that you and several of your fellow colleagues have had in the past, that seems to now have been kept on the back burner, and now it's time to surge ahead?
Definitely, this success ignited the young minds across India. Definitely, the vibe generated by this success really enlightened the minds of young generation, and it ignited the thoughts in the minds of the children for pursuing scientific studies, to have technology, developmental activities. All these things will be encouraged, and younger generation will definitely come forward, and they will see that the scientific community in India, the present generation of scientific community, they will look at us as role models, and they will work hard for achieving better goals in the future.
When you see the kind of criticism that ISRO had to face previously, even from the Western world, even after the Chandrayaan-3, the kind of criticism that we had to face, despite the kind of effort that we have put in, did that ever affect you or your colleagues in ISRO, or was that something that you all never bothered about, despite the kind of talks that used to take place?
No, definitely we are aware of our strengths. Actually, you know, the last flight also, we have all the instrumentation kept in the Chandrayaan-2 probe, 2 spacecraft, and whatever data available and whatever were the observations we saw in the previous flight, we have analyzed, we have simulated what has happened, corrective actions were made. Definitely, a number of simulations further carried out to ensure the success. And then only we ventured into the next flight. So therefore, we are very much aware of our strengths, our capabilities, and there is no worry about all these criticism and all. We can attain our goals with our own resources and our own efforts. We will be able to achieve further higher goals.
One very interesting statement that was actually made by one of your colleagues and also by you was the fact that, you've now set a benchmark. Nothing lesser than this will be expected. And that was such a beautiful statement made by your colleagues. When you say that you've set the benchmark and there is much more to achieve, what is it that the people of this country could expect in the years to come in terms of achievement made by...
Definitely, you know that the current flight, this LVM-3 M4 Chandrayaan-3 flight is its 7th successful flight. So definitely we have kept a very high benchmark regarding the performance, regarding the perfection with which we can handle the rocket technology. So now we have to aim more, and we have to ensure that further flights also will be safe, mission successful, like that. So you know that for once we keep the benchmarks, our review mechanisms existing in ISRO is very strong. Start from the higher levels of managerial reviews to the lowermost, the design review teams. We have a very systematic review mechanism. This review mechanism, each and every subsystem which went into this launch vehicle systems and spacecraft systems will be thoroughly reviewed. Any loopholes, any observations are there, that will be addressed perfectly, and the corrective actions then and there we will be taking care of, and the flight safety, mission safety, and mission success will be ensured by this process. So that is the kind of exercise we do, and therefore whatever higher benchmarks we are keeping, that can be achieved through our dedicated efforts, review mechanisms, our quality management systems, capabilities. So all these things will ensure further heights and further successes.
Earlier in the day, Prime Minister Modi addressed all the scientists of ISRO, and it was indeed a proud moment. I just want to understand what went through your mind when the Prime Minister essentially said, credited this entire success to the hard work of the ISRO scientists. That very moment, could you help us perhaps describe it for all our viewers who are watching you tonight?
Exactly. This is a dedicated effort of Team ISRO or the ISRO team, dedicated efforts, collective wisdom, collective effort, and not only the ISRO employees, you know, in different levels, from the highest management level to the lowermost, the technical assistants, technicians level, a dedicated effort of thousands of personnel have undergone in this, as well as our industrial partners. You know, the industries, they are starting from the large scale industries who supply us the motor segments, engine components, propellant tanks, stage systems, to the smallest industry who support us with contingent fabrication requirements, the suppliers of chemicals, propellants, adhesives, sealants, rubber products, composite products, avionic systems, the service providers of avionic systems, component suppliers, package realization agencies, and our own government-owned company operated GOCO facility operating people. So it is a collective effort. Not only that, our eminent experts who are retired from our organization, as well as eminent experts in the academia across the country, the industrial experts. So all these people contributed to this, and that created this success.
We certainly salute the achievement of ISRO. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, in fact, you've heard what the men behind the successful mission had to actually say. And Srijan Pal Singh, as I said, they would obviously steer clear from all the politics behind it, even the negativity that's kept aside despite the effort that have been made. Before I begin the debate, there is one fact that I want everyone here to actually look at, and especially Shyam Prasad Meka, Lokesh Jindal and Siddharth Sharma. In terms of simple fact, ISRO has carried out about 47 launches using 4 different launch vehicles from the time Modi government came to power in 2014. You compare that with Dr. Manmohan Singh's time, 24 launches have taken place, 6 during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time, 5 during P.V. Narasimha Rao's time. Now that's the fact that I've put out. Srijan Pal Singh, if I want to begin with you, as far as the controversy behind the naming point, the counter that many are making is this: when Luna 3 made that successful launch, the Russians at that point in time decided to name it after their heroes. So some say, why exactly make it religious? That's the argument that has been put forth. As a scientist, how do you essentially look at this tradition of naming the landing site? And in particular, as some people have a problem, Lokesh's party seems to have a lot of problem with the Shivshakti naming. Why don't you put this into perspective? And then we'll take the political angle with the BJP and Congress squaring it off.
Many countries, including US, France, and many others, have named their space missions after gods, including Apollo, Artemis, Ariane, and many others. And with regard to Shivshakti, I think we are being very myopic if you see it from the angle of it being only religious. What is Shiv? Shiv talks about the person who can destroy and recreate matter. Shiva is the transformer of matter. And what is Shakti? Shakti is energy which flows in the universe, the cosmos, our own human bodies, and keeps us alive. So it's energy and mass together, which is E is equal to mc square, which is science. The problem is that we forget to find that the origination of all our scriptures, all what we call religion, is actually more of spirituality and science. And that is what separates India from the West. Now, in terms of naming such points after scientific heroes, it's not a bad idea. But let's understand that Chandrayaan-3 is not the last mission. We'll have Chandrayaan 4, 5, 6 and many more.
Correct.
There are ample opportunities to rename these things after our scientific heroes like Dr. Kalam and many others.
Okay. So that's one aspect, that you don't see a problem as such with the name Shivshakti, which you are saying is technically not really religious per se. There is a scientific thought process behind it also.
Absolutely. In fact, there is a statue. If you go to CERN, the Swiss laboratory, the biggest laboratory in the world, the most costly laboratory in the world, just between building number 29 and 30, just off the main building, there is a 2-meter statue of Nataraj.
Correct.
And under it, the inscription is about Carl Sagan, who said that the dance of Shiva represents the same dance which atoms did when the universe was born. Now, would you call it a religious symbol? No, it is a spiritual symbol. Science and spirituality are very, very cosmically and closely linked.
Okay. Siddharth Sharma, if I can come to you, of the Aam Aadmi Party, because I'll come to Lokesh in a short while from now. Siddharth, I want to understand from you, as your alliance partner seems to have a lot of problem with the naming, simply saying that, why give this religious angle to it, which Srijan Pal Singh has said that there's nothing really religious about it. Why is it that on a day like this, or even on the day when the successful launch actually took place, why is it that we feel the need to play politics over something that every Indian should be proud of, irrespective of their political affiliation?
Yeah, Shravan, let me put it perspective right away, that as a human being, I am very proud of the Sea of Tranquility, where in 1969 the first moon landing happened. As an Indian, I am also very proud of the Jawahar Sthal, where in 2008 Chandrayaan-3 landed up. I am as proud of Shivshakti Sthal today named, where the Chandrayaan-3 soft landing happened. I think this entire issue about names is a storm in a teacup. Essentially, it is science. Science is a never-ending quest, and we have to think now, because science, as a party also, we are a party of young generation next people. We believe in creating history and not dwelling on history. And I think right now the challenge is whether ISRO, the Chandrayaan, the Pragyan module will find ice on the surface of the moon. Because the entire reason for Chandrayaan-3 going into the southern hemisphere or near the south pole of the moon was to see that if ice exists under the moon, because in other parts there is having no atmosphere and harsh sunlight. It would be nice to see whether ice does exist under the surface of the moon, because if ice exists, then of course it opens up avenues for future human settlements as well as a refueling point. I think that is the challenge right now in front of the ISRO, and we need to congratulate ISRO and also think that after such a humongous achievement, and I was very happy when I heard the ISRO mission director speak about this endeavor, the credit going to entire humanity with a collaborative approach. I think, isn't it time for the political class of India to award ISRO with an increased budget? Because right now, ISRO is running on a shoestring budget, and people in ISRO, the senior scientists, are also on record saying that they have also sacrificed part of their award money into this. So I think what ISRO has achieved, the real deal here would be, I think, can increase the budgetary allocation to ISRO. Right now, it is at 13,000 crores, which is 0.5% of our GDP. I believe they have earned much more.
Siddharth Sharma, I'll take that. Okay. Siddharth Sharma, I'll come to the aspect of, the budgetary allocation, because that's another part of the debate. But let me first finish off this entire naming controversy. As I understand, Siddharth Sharma, it's heartening to see a political leader essentially saying that learn from what our scientists have to say. So effectively, you do not agree with what your alliance partner has to say, if I'm not wrong. I want to bring in Dr. Zafar Islam right now. Dr. Zafar Islam, the counter argument also, let's look at all aspects of it. Yes, the Prime Minister, when he says that should be a Tiranga point, I see no reason why anyone should have a problem if it is being called Tiranga point. It's after all something that every Indian is going to be proud of. But there is a counter argument to it, that could we have also looked at our heroes? For example, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the very person who had actually suggested that impact probe is going to be dropped as an evidence of our mission, and that's the reason why that impact probe was dropped in. The crash landing took place. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done that. So the question here is, Zafar Islam, is there the other way of looking at it, that you could have thought of naming it after even Dr. Kalam?
No, let me respond to that. I think if anybody is trying to politicize the naming, whatever name has been given, these two names, whether it's Tiranga or Shivshakti, is above any individual citizen of living or dead. They are definitely above everyone. So everybody's contribution is towards seeing our Indian flag flying high. And if the name has been given Tiranga, I think the people of India should be thrilled with joy instead of criticizing about it. And those who are trying to politicize it, because I understand the Congress party draws strength from their first family, that's why they are comfortable naming everything from their first family. Jawahar Point, they are comfortable, but Shiv Shakti is something they are not comfortable, and so was Tiranga. I think it is really shameful on their part to even make this kind of criticism or even state something like this, that why did they name Tiranga or Shiv Shakti? Because these two names are above every single individual who was born in India, have been citizen of India, have made contribution, either they are alive or dead, because these are non-compromising name, and everybody should be proud of these names. Instead of, had we given name to somebody from our party, then you could have criticized it. Or even if scientist has not given, ask any scientist either in this panel or otherwise, they will say if the Tiranga is flying high and if somebody is talking about Tiranga, even they will feel emotional about it. They will feel happy about it. Nobody will criticize. Only the political party who has no interest in safeguarding the national interest or nation's interest, or they do not want their flag to be flying high, will make this kind of a statement and criticize the government, or for that matter, the Prime Minister. They have problem. See, I understand their problem.
Islam.
As I said earlier, they draw full strength from the first family, so they want to please them. So they have to make this kind of statements just to get their attention and in some way some reward going forward. But let me make it very clear. Our government is absolutely clear. We think through everything. We do not want to politicize it, but we want to make Indian people proud of every single efforts are being made by us.
One small bit that I found, Zafar Islam, I'm a little surprised that you did not latch on to what Mr. Siddharth Sharma of the Aam Aadmi Party had to say. He seems to have taken a very different line than his own alliance partner, which is extremely heartening, because he essentially talks about the fact that you don't need to politicize matters like this. And I'm surprised you didn't really latch on to it. But let me quickly go across to the Congress party. Lokesh Jindal, one aspect.
No, just a second.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Yep.
I heard him.
Go ahead. Make your
point. Didn't want to comment it because, as I said, every political party should rise above this petty politics, and even whoever is making this kind of statement, it is always welcome. Not by us. It's not our contribution. It is the leadership which has definitely made them comfortable, given them larger budget from 5,600 crore to 13,000, almost 13,000 crore for even this Chandrayaan-3 600 crore. But away from all these things, it is the leadership which has lent a lot of comfort to all the scientists. But we are not taking away credit from all the scientists. Their contribution, everybody should talk about it, that they have made it possible, and we are extremely proud of their achievement. But when political party do not rise above petty politics, then we have to make them understand that the people of India do not like their stand and approach. And Siddharth of AAP has taken a right decision. Whether they are contradicting Congress party or not, I'm not overly concerned. But I'm targeting Congress party, or for that matter, any party which will make this kind of a statement will be criticized not only by us, but by the people of this nation.
So let's hear what the Congress party, Lokesh, let's understand one thing. When you start the battle on a losing pitch like what you have essentially done, you're going to fall flat, and that's exactly what is happening. Why is it that you believe that it is important to have this family first approach? And I'll tell you what, there is this entire list that actually I had made of the naming sham that was actually carried out. You won't believe It took me at least, Srijan Pal Singh, at least 20 minutes to actually write down the number of places, even zoos. You have left absolutely nothing. Naming almost every possible thing on planet Earth after the Gandhi family. Today, forget about the BJP, forget about them for a minute. You're talking about the success that has been made by, not by the Bharatiya Janata Party, the success of ISRO. And ISRO belongs to not one political party, it belongs to the entire country. We are proud of that. Lokesh Jindal, when will you actually realize that you did not have a problem with Jawahar Point, you have a problem with Tiranga Point?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Do you know why we have named that point as Jawahar Point? Because the Chandrayaan-3 landing was on 14th of November 2008, which was the birth date of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Now, on 23rd of August 2023,
yeah. Lokesh,
23rd of August.
Come on.
No, please allow me to complete.
Lokesh,
allow me
I'm
to
sorry,
complete,
you will hate me doing it. I know, you will hate me because you will say that I allowed Siddharth, I allowed Zafar Islam. No, 1 minute. Siddharth and Zafar Islam started off making factual points. Now please understand, the launch of the rocket, the launch of the vehicle, the launch of the vehicle and the landing is not on the basis of someone's birthday. So had it been the birth date of some political leader on the basis of which ISRO is going to decide, okay, today is the most opportune time. Come on. Bereft of facts, bereft of understanding of science. No, I don't want you to go out, but come on, please don't do this. Don't make a mockery of yourself.
What have
Please
you
go ahead.
called me here
Make your point, and then I want Srijan to quickly respond. Srijan to quickly respond. I want.
Don't be sycophant of disorder, my friend.
You want to have an argument which is informative. Go ahead.
I understand sycophancy works in Congress Party. I understand sycophancy works in Congress Party. But don't be sycophant of disorder, please.
Okay, Lokesh seems to have taken umbrage over the fact that we should have been very happy about the fact that ISRO had actually decided Chandrayaan-1 launch, and then I find that extremely laughable. Shyam Prasad Mika, if you want to help your friend, from your party, I hope you will not go to make the same argument. Come on, you also know it very well. The decision of landing and the decision of the lift-off is not based on some political leader's birth date. There is some science to it. Shyam Prasad, same question applies to you.
I have been patiently listening to everybody for 37 minutes. Now allow me the courtesy. Don't try to lay your pitch for me. I am not going to play on that pitch. Okay? See, first point, it is a proud moment for all the country and every citizen. Now, forget India, as Prime Minister said. Entire humanity should see this as a leap forward. And we as Indians should be proud of our contribution, as simple as that. And as far as namings are concerned, that's a very little issue. Whatever name is given, it's okay that there is some recognition to the point where we landed. That's good enough. There is no politics over it. Now, where politics comes is when you try to draw that false comparison, which is actually has no backing. Like it's unfair to compare during this Prime Minister's term, these many launches happened. During that defense minister's term, these many launches happened. That is what you actually accepted when you said this is a losing pitch for Congress, because you are setting up the pitch. Once Dr. Mohan Kumar spoke, there is nothing for the political parties to speak on this. Once the scientists explained about the mission and the targets of the rover, there ends the matter. But you want to set up the pitch. You want to try and make it a political angle. Since you want to allow the Prime Minister to bask in the reflective glory of the scientists. Stop this dramabazi and we will be a great scientific power. While we are at it, let's talk about other achievements of this government. That's what we need to talk about. The inflation, the unemployment, the social fabric of this country, the state of the institutions of this country. That's what we need to politicize. That is our politics. The social justice in this country, that is our politics. That is what we should be talking, rather than by being clever by 1.5, trying to do stupid statistics, saying this Prime Minister, that Defense Minister, between this year, that year. That won't take us anywhere. Thank you.
Okay, Shram Prasad Becca. Okay, Shram Prasad Becca. I love this aspect of yours that you thought the best way is to attack the anchor here. And unfortunately, Shram Prasad Mecca, you do not understand one thing. When I come for my show, Shram Prasad Mecca, I come armed with a lot of facts. And these are facts which I don't make up. I do my research, and hence I did actually research to find out the number of places, zoos, toilets, and everything that you've named after your beloved leader. No, Shram Prasad Mecca, come on, don't be unfair. You made your point. I'm just rebutting to it. There are two aspects to which I just want to respond, which our viewers want to know. This is number one. You say that the losing pitch. I did not make this controversy of the naming point. It is your own leader, Mr. Rashid Alvi. I did not start it. For heaven's sake, please go and look at what Mr. Rashid Alvi had to say. And if you believe that he's made a mistake and that is not the Congress party's position, then please put out a rejoinder saying that the Congress party has nothing to do with Mr. Rashid Alvi's statement. Number one, don't attack me. I am only coming with facts to you. Secondly, you make a point about why give this entire thing on a platter to the Prime Minister. No one is interested in giving anything on a platter to the Prime Minister. The politics is not what we started. Now, there is one aspect, and Savio, let me take this to you right now. This comparison that Shram Prasad Mecca was saying, and in fact, I spoke to Srijanpal Singh just a short while back before the debate actually began. Is it a little unfair when you start making a comparison? Because what happened back, Srijanpal Singh will actually tell you, back in 1969 when it actually started, and thereafter, whatever happened in terms of budgetary allocation, with whatever resources we had, limited resources we had, and the competition that existed at that point in time, India did what it could have. Do you believe that somewhere down the line, this comparison, and you're saying that everything has happened in the last 9 years, not happened previously, is it an unfair way of looking at a few things?
Yeah, Shaban, let me draw a few point of view to my panelists as far as the naming of Shivshakti is concerned. So as a student of Sanatan Dharma, which I have been learning for the last couple of years, let me tell you what the essence of Shivshakti is from an overall perspective. Shivshakti primarily means transformation. Shiva being the masculine aspect, which means consciousness, and Shakti being the feminine aspect, which means the energizing principle. So what you have in Shivshakti primarily is transformation. So with the naming of what is a spectacular effort by ISRO and a spectacular effort by India, not only for India, but on a global platform, in the global space platform, is really transformative. And transformation is something that is progressive. And that's why the name is the most appropriate. I don't see any religion angle to it. I see it as essentially a spiritual and an energizing angle to it. Now, coming back to how space has evolved, as somebody who tracks space, tracks industry, and tracks startups that are moving into the space segment, let me tell you that yes, there has been tremendous efforts even by the previous government. It's not that there hasn't been. But because technology has advanced over the last decade and more, you are going to see more progress. What took us about 9-10 years now to get to the moon on the South Pole might take us about 4-5 years at that point of time. So technology is advancing. India is moving ahead very strongly and very assertively as far as technology is concerned. And I'm telling you, within the next 5 years, you're going to see so many companies, young Indians working on space research, space technology and space exploration. And that's going to be the transformation. And that is what Shivshakti is all about. So I'm not in for a comparison with what the Congress would have done. Yes, at a time when it was between 2005 and 2013, there could have been more funds allotted to ISRO. Whether it would have transformed the space aspect of India's potential, I am not going to be a judge for that. But right now, as a country, what we should be doing is looking at the transformation that Shivshakti brings not only on the moon, but across India and across the talent pool that India has to now progress in space research, in space exploration, quicker, faster and with a lot more confidence. And that's the only thing that should matter to us as Indians. Every time you ask a child on the road, after this incident, this event has happened, this historic event has happened, they talk about wanting to be in space research. They're talking of wanting to be astronauts. That's really what it's all about. It's about bringing that Atma Vishwas. It's about bringing that Atma Samman. And Shivshakti is that transformation.
It's beautifully put by Savio. In fact, this is the question that I had also asked Mr. Mohan Kumar, that there was a point in time that everyone wanted to join NASA and not ISRO. And today I think so that has changed. And look at the profile of most of our scientists, you would see that, at least part of this entire mission, I think so most of them are not from IITs here. And the very fact that, that brings in a refreshing change in the outlook that all of us have. One simple aspect I also want to quickly touch upon is something that Siddharth Sharma spoke about, is the budgetary allocation. With Zafar Islam, I want you to come in first. Siddharth Sharma, take a look at this fact too. 5,615 crore in 2013 to 2014 to about 12,543 crore in 10 years, a rise of 123%. As far as the launches are concerned, 1.2 yearly launch missions before 2014 to about 5.7 satellites since 2014. Now that's the number. Now you please tell me that is that also another debatable point where you're saying that not enough is being allocated as far as space explorations are concerned? A quick point, Siddharth Sharma, Shyam Prasad Mekha and Zafar Islam.
I'll cut short my thing in 30
Siddharth,
seconds. Before answering you, there has been a long tradition in India ever since our first satellite Aryabhatta was launched, be it Aryabhatta, Agni, Prithvi, Akash, even the Chandrayaan lander, that is, it is named as Vikram in place of, for the name of Vikram Sarabhai. So there has been a tradition of naming things for, as far as ISRO is concerned. The second point I'd like to make is that any statement, any statesman worth his salt has to know that how to present himself at a historic occasion. I distinctly remember in 1998 when India became a nuclear power and Atal Bihari Vajpayee as the Prime Minister announced that India had become a nuclear power. It was with so much equanimity and as a matter of fact. That is how a statesman behaves. Now, as far as your question, your specific question was concerned, I'm not, as I clearly said, we are a party of new generation. We don't dwell on history, we create history. My simple point is that for a entity like ISRO, which is known to offer payloads into space at 1/10 of the cost of other space payloads across the globe, isn't it worth it for India to invest more in ISRO? Because by investing more in ISRO than it is investing today, it will generate more revenue. And Chandrayaan, the success of Chandrayaan, I think deserves that special award to be given to ISRO, that their budgetary allocation need to increase from now on in an order of magnitude. That is a simple, it is not a debate I am making, it is not a criticism, it is a request, or this is a logical curiosity or logical demand that I am making from ISRO's point of view. It is as simple as that.
Okay, I'm running short of time. So, Zafar Islam, I'll give you the chance because I'll take both of them so that you can respond to both of them together. Shyam Prasad Mekha, you make your point and then Zafar Islam can respond to both Siddharth as well as Shyam Prasad Mekha. Shyam Prasad Mekha, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Sharma. See, the simple point is, I'm not disputing your numbers, right? The point is, the funds will be allocated, should be allocated adequately, but the amount of funds allocated is not going to be proportional to the number of launches. The ISRO is not going to launch just for the heck of it. They have some funds, right? They will have a proper plan. Whatever launches, whatever tests they need to do, they should be having adequate funds for that. So when we look at these numbers, I think there is a chance for some of the viewers to get misled. That's why I am correcting that. Second, even now, so let's hear from ISRO and other scientists, what is our next step? Let's try and put pressure on our governments, whatever party it is, to allocate adequate funds. That's how we need to tackle it.
Zafar
Can I just respond to
Islam and
that?
Shrijan Pal
I
Singh,
think-
the last word to both of you. Zafar Islam, go ahead, respond to both the leaders.
I think, I think when somebody is saying that we should push the government, put pressure on the government, I think they should have put pressure on Manmohan Singh government. I'm sure you must have heard Mr. Madhavan. So, what did he say? He was the ISRO chief earlier, in 2000, that this Chandrayaan-3 mission or Chandrayaan-2 mission could have been launched in 2012 itself, had the government been sensitive about it. But they were not sensitive, and then all the push has come since 2014 when the Prime Minister assumed the power in May, and of course the instant focus had changed of the Prime Minister, and then the focus of ISRO has changed, both in terms of the allocation of fund, because whatever fund was earlier allocated only to cover the expenses of ISRO, for not a single penny earmarked for the research work, or not a single penny earmarked for all the developmental work. So when after 2014, year on a year basis, the ISRO, whatever ISRO needed for the research work, for the new initiative, for the development work, for launching the mission, we have made allocation of fund, and we will continue to make the allocation of fund whatever ISRO is required, because we are extremely proud of their achievement, and the leadership has to provide all the required and desired comfort to the scientists, and that is what the Honorable Prime Minister has been able to do it, which was missing in the case of Manmohan Singh ji. I'm not criticizing the former Prime Minister, but the mindset of all the Congress party people were only to please the first family, because they feel that by doing some sycophancy there, they will get the benefit. But they were never focused. Like he's suggesting that they should put pressure on the government. You should have put pressure on your government when the government was there. Today, the government is extremely sensitive, and they are working what is required and what is desired by ISRO.
One 5 seconds, Shravan.
Okay.
Dr.
Shrijan, one last word to you. Shrijan, go ahead.
Quickly, in 20 seconds, I want to just add one more thing.
Okay, Shyam Prasad Meka, I really don't have the time. Allow me. Shyam Prasad Meka, we'll have another debate, don't worry. Shyam Prasad Meka, please don't do this. Please don't do this. You've already made the... Shrijan Pal Singh has been waiting this patiently. Shrijan Pal Singh,
while we're talking about the government spending on the space sector going up, which is a great thing, we should not ignore the private sector, which has opened up, and there's a lot of VC funding, close to $1 billion of VC funding. Much of it is coming from foreign lands, which is being invested in space startup sector in India. That is also going to soon match the investment which the government is making. It's a huge sector which is going to come up. Every dollar spent in space returns $7. It's such a profitable business. Every VC wants to invest in today's Indian space market. And after Chandrayaan-3, this is going to go up many a times. So I think that is also a very exciting sector to explore, the private side of it. You will soon see maybe 100, 200 startups coming up in the next 3-4 years. Having said all that, a lot needs to be done also on the ISRO side. The truth is that our rocket, the Bahubali rocket, is only about 1/4 or 1/5 the capacity of the Saturn V rocket, which took humans to moon. So we need to develop more rocket systems, which will require investment, and I think it's a happy time ahead, and I look forward to that.
In fact, that's one aspect that unfortunately we could not really touch upon in this debate. That entire space sector that we are really talking about, the gap that actually exists in that market and the potential that the market has in terms of the numbers. There could be a quantum leap in the years to come, and especially for multiple startups, and perhaps that's the way forward that everyone would be looking forward to. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm very sorry we had to cut you short because we've had that fantastic interview with the mission director. Thank you for bearing with us. Dr. Syed Zafar Islam for joining us, along with Shrijan Pal Singh, Savio Rodrigues, Shyam Prasad Meka and Siddharth Sharma for joining us on the weekend debate.
The pivotal power descent has begun and the lander module is propelling towards the moon's surface along the intended trajectory.
बेस के एकदम करीब आ चुके हैं। हाँ, आप तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट से सुन सकते हैं कि लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा की सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है। ये देख सकते हैं कि हम
प्रधानमंत्री जी, sir, we have achieved soft landing on the moon. India is on the moon.
भारत चंद्रमा के उस दक्षिणी ध्रुव पर पहुंचा है जहां आज तक दुनिया का कोई भी देश नहीं पहुंच सका। सैल्यूट आपके परिश्रम को, सैल्यूट आपके जज्बे को।
Amity School of Communication has been ranked among India's top 5 mass comm institutes for the last 3 years by India Today, a testimony to its most high-tech studios, senior professionals as faculty and placements in leading media organizations. To apply, visit amity.edu.
The pivotal power descent has begun and the lander module is propelling towards the moon's surface along the intended trajectory.
बेस के एकदम करीब आ चुके हैं। हाँ, आप तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट से सुन सकते हैं कि लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा की सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है। ये देख सकते हैं कि हम
प्रधानमंत्री जी, sir, we have achieved soft landing on the moon. India is on the moon.
भारत चंद्रमा के उस दक्षिणी ध्रुव पर पहुंचा है जहां आज तक दुनिया का कोई भी देश नहीं पहुंच सका।
The pivotal power descent has begun and the lander module is propelling towards the moon's surface along the intended trajectory.
बेस के एकदम करीब आ चुके हैं। हाँ, आप तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट से सुन सकते हैं कि लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा की सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है। ये देख सकते हैं कि हम
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Republic TV. I am Rakta Mishra with you. Let's get started with all the top stories making headlines.
आप सबको सैल्यूट करना चाहता था।
Prime Minister salutes the spirit of our ISRO scientists as he lauds them for a successful moon mission.
जिस स्थान पर चंद्रयान-3 का मून लैंडर उतरा है, अब उस पॉइंट को शिव शक्ति के नाम से जाना जाएगा।
Chandrayaan-3 landing site to be called Shivshakti. Chandrayaan-2 site named Tiranga.
हमारे साइंटिस्ट का नाम तक उन पर मौजूद नहीं है। ऐसा लगता है कि इसरो प्रधानमंत्री चला रहे हैं, वो चंद्रयान प्रधानमंत्री लेकर गए हैं।
Congress questions a move to name lunar points where India left its imprint. BJP calls it dynasty mindset. ISRO releases new video of Pragyan rover in pursuit of lunar South Pole secrets at the Shivshakti point. 4 days after the horrific crash in Nuh that led to the death of 2 people, police yet to record statements of those in Rolls-Royce. New Delhi gears up to host world leaders on the 9th and 10th of September for the big G20 summit. Prime Minister Modi flew down to Bengaluru from the Greek capital of Athens to interact with ISRO scientists on the successful lunar mission. He was briefed on the developments in the mission so far by the ISRO chief. Here's a quick recap on Prime Minister's ISTRAC visit.
As Prime Minister Modi landed in Bengaluru from Athens, he gave a slogan in support of our scientists.
जय जवान, जय जवान। आगे मैं एक और कह रहा हूं, मैं कहूंगा जय विज्ञान, आप कहेंगे जय अनुसंधान। जय विज्ञान, जय विज्ञान।
As Prime Minister Modi arrived at his track in Peenya a little later, after 7:30 a.m., he was welcomed by ISRO Chief S. Somanath. Prime Minister Modi patted on the back of the ISRO chairman and also gave him a warm hug. Prime Minister Modi also hugged M. Shankaran, director at the U.R. Rao Satellite Centre, the nation's premier hub for satellite design, development and realization, after posing for a picture at the doors of ISTRAC. Prime Minister was given a lowdown on the mission by exhibiting the modules and payloads. When Prime Minister entered the command center, there was a loud applause, and Prime Minister too applauded for the scientists.
मैं साउथ अफ्रीका में था, फिर ग्रीस का कार्यक्रम था तो वहां चला गया, लेकिन मेरा मन पूरी तरह आपके साथ ही लगा हुआ था। भारत में आते ही जल्द से जल्द आपके दर्शन करना चाहता था।
Prime Minister Modi was given a presentation on the mission.
So we are seeing the ramp being deployed now. This is animation. We'll see the real. Next solar panel of the ramp of the rover Chandrayaan opens. Then it establishes communication with the lander. Then it slowly comes out. Now the rover has already moved 12 meters. So we'll see the onboard camera visuals. So this is a camera mounted on the side just before the ramp deployment. So what you're seeing is the deployment of the ramp with the rover mounted on that. The solar panel of the rover is deployed already and it is getting released and moving towards moon. So these images take a lot of time to come to Earth because data rate and processing. The rover is almost out of the field of view. It will turn in the day today and look at the lander and take more pictures. Thank you.
An ISRO chief presented the Prime Minister with miniature model of a Vikram lander. He was also given a picture of Chandrayaan-3 landing site, which has now been named Shivshakti. Prime Minister Modi interacted with the women behind the mission.
सैल्यूट आपके परिश्रम को, सैल्यूट आपके धैर्य को, सैल्यूट आपके जज्बे को.
Prime Minister Modi has taken nation's message to the scientists, and India salutes the ISRO heroes. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So it's a proud moment for all of us, for all the Indians, but opposition is at it again, alleging that Prime Minister is taking credit for the achievement of the scientists. Listen in.
देखिए, हास्यास्पद है. बीजेपी और बीजेपी के नेताओं की आदत बन गई है कि वो कभी सड़कों के नाम बदलते हैं, कभी शहरों के नाम बदलते हैं, और अब वो चांद तक पहुंच गए. क्या चांद की उस धरती के मालिक हैं प्रधानमंत्री जिसका वो नाम रख रहे हैं? कल को कोई दूसरा देश वहां पहुंचेगा, वो अपना नाम रखेगा. प्रधानमंत्री सिर्फ राजनीति कर रहे हैं, इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं कर रहे. ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है कि प्रधानमंत्री के सारे पोस्टर दिल्ली के अंदर लगे हुए हैं और हमारे साइंटिस्ट का नाम तक उन पर मौजूद नहीं है. ऐसा लगता है कि इसरो प्रधानमंत्री चला रहे हैं, वो चंद्रयान प्रधानमंत्री लेकर गए हैं. इससे पता चलता है कि बीजेपी की क्या मानसिकता है.
देखिए, कईयों के लिए परिवार फर्स्ट, बाकियों के लिए राष्ट्र प्रथम. यही अंतर हमने पहले दिन कहा. भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए नेशन फर्स्ट, राष्ट्र प्रथम, देश प्रथम, और हमारी हर सोच में, हर बात में, हर काम में, हर नाम में राष्ट्र प्रथम. दूसरी ओर कांग्रेस है, वो उनमें ये होड़ लगी होती है कि नेहरू जी का नाम रखें, इंदिरा जी का रखें, राजीव जी का रखें, सोनिया जी का रखें. अब तो पता नहीं आगे किस किस का रखने की सोचेंगे, लेकिन अब मौका नहीं मिलेगा.
We are all part of propulsion system. We are very happy that all the components delivered and our system has performed perfectly, and we could achieve the fruit which the entire nation was waiting for. It was a long-awaited result. We are very happy to be part of this team. and we wish for the future missions also to get the similar success, and we should continue to make the nation and ourselves proud.
We are proud. We are proud, and we have done this. We have for this great success. And Modi ji also, he has given a highly inspirited speech. We all are now. We are already empowered. We want other women, by seeing this, others also to be empowered like us. That is our, so that all the woman power we can bring in the nation.
So basically, I work for this spacecraft propulsion systems. So I am very much happy to be a part of these missions. And generally, we are the propulsion system is what you can say the key of or what you can say the heart of any propulsion. This one. So I am very happy to be part of this and very much excited actually that we have successfully completed this mission, and we made India proud.
Thank you. We just have thanks to Prime Minister for actually coming and appreciating us personally. This is like he directly came from Greece, landed in Bangalore, first to take our, he said the word, आपके दर्शन. ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण वर्ड्स है, वो बहुत भावुक हो गए थे, उनके साथ हम लोग भी भावुक हो गए. So yeah, it's extremely a great event, iconic and a historic moment for India.
Yeah, this experience was very good actually. The PM reported on 23rd itself, he has announced he is coming. So all these ISRO scientists, they are very excited because the PM was coming, and even the PM was very excited to come here to address all the scientists. And it was a very big motivation for all of us, the ISRO scientists. And he has given a very nice speech today, and he has motivated well to all the ISRO scientists, and we are motivated now to do this better in future also.
4 days after the horrific crash on Mumbai-Delhi highway in Noor that led to the death of 2 people, police are yet to record the statement of the businessman who was behind the wheels in the speeding Rolls-Royce. Here's all you need to know about this case.
On August 22nd, a luxury car had rammed into an oil tanker, claiming the lives of 2 occupants of tanker. Initial investigation has revealed that it was Kuber Group Director Vikas Malu's Rolls-Royce.
A Rolls-Royce was reportedly driving at a very high speed of 200 kilometers per hour. It hit this diesel tanker which belongs to the EPCO company, and 2 persons in this diesel tanker, namely Rinku Preet and Kuldeep, along with Gautam, were there. Rinku Preet and Kuldeep flung onto the road and were crushed by the Rolls-Royce. Now the incident again where this entire grievous incident took place was over here. Now what as per the CCTV shows is that the diesel tanker was trying to take a turn when the Rolls-Royce reportedly came at a very high speed and hit the diesel tanker, resulting in Rinku Preet and Kuldeep flunging on from the diesel tanker onto the road and getting crushed.
According to police, Vikas's car was being driven at 200 km per hour. Vikas's lawyer maintains that the businessman's driver was behind the wheels.
Sir, I wanted to understand one thing, that what is the status of your client Vikas Malu, who apparently was there in the Rolls-Royce car which hit that diesel tanker which resulted in the death of 2 people. So yes. What is the status of your client right now?
Now he is improving. He sustained fracture in right elbow. So now the operation is scheduled for Monday. He will cooperate the investigation. Once he is recovered from his injury, he will join the investigation.
Republic even spoke to one of the survivors who narrated the entire incident.
गाड़ी वाले से टक्कर हुई थी और आप लोग मतलब पीछे से गाड़ी आ रही थी, यू टर्न लिया था गाड़ी ने, सामने से टक्कर हुई या साइड से आके गाड़ी टक्कर मार दी थी गाड़ी में? साइड में से टक्कर मार दी। अच्छा, जो लोग आपके साथ 2 जने और भी मौजूद थे, जो ड्राइवर थे और जो उनके साथ एक और ड्राइवर थे, वो उनका बताया जा रहा है कि जैसे ही ये घटना हुई तभी मृत्यु हो गई थी। तो क्या आप लोग सही साइड पे जा रहे थे?
No arrests have been made in the case. The police said that further action will be taken after those injured in the crash have recovered in hospital. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
At least 10 people have died after a fire that broke out inside a stationary train compartment in Madurai railway station in the wee hours of Saturday. The Southern Railway has announced an ex gratia of 10 lakh rupees for the kin of the deceased. Here's a detailed report on that.
A stationary coach in Punalur-Madurai Express at Tamil Nadu's Madurai yard caught fire, claiming lives of 10 pilgrims who were headed to Rameshwaram. Over 50 have been seriously injured. Soon after, Madurai District Collector took stock of the accident site and reasoned that an illegal cylinder caused the fatal fire tragedy.
Today early morning by 5:30 there was a fire accident in a coach which was halted here at Madurai railway station. The pilgrims, they were travelling from Uttar Pradesh, and today morning when they tried to make coffee for them, when they lighted the stove, there was a blast of the cylinder, it seems, and as of now we have retrieved 9 bodies from inside the coach. And remaining rescue operations going on.
According to initial investigation conducted by the police, it has been revealed that the passengers in the private party coach had apparently illegally smuggled gas cylinders. Even though the fire tenders doused the fire after 2 hours of efforts, there was widespread loss of life and property. One of the injured passenger recalls the horrific moment and details how he survived.
लोग सो ही रहे थे तो ये एकदम आग जली, उठे, हम लोग भागे। तो भागने के बाद जो भी अब चारों तरफ से दरवाजे बंद थे, खिड़कियां भी बंद थी, चाबी ढूंढे नहीं मिल रही थी। उसमें फिर एक प्लास मिल गया, जो आगे लोग था उसको, उसने प्लास से एक दरवाजा तोड़ा।
Meanwhile, the Southern Railway announced an ex gratia of rupees 10 lakh to the family of the deceased. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
On the other side, we tell you how New Delhi is gearing up to host world leaders on the 9th and 10th of September for the big G20 summit.
The pivotal power descent has begun and the lander module is propelling towards the moon's surface along the intended trajectory.
बेस के एकदम करीब आ चुके हैं। हाँ, आप तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट से सुन सकते हैं कि लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा की सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है। ये देख सकते हैं कि हम
प्रधानमंत्री जी, सर, वी हैव अचीव्ड सॉफ्ट लैंडिंग ऑन द मून। इंडिया इज ऑन द मून।
भारत चंद्रमा के उस दक्षिणी ध्रुव पर पहुंचा है जहां आज तक